Our next competitor this morning, Anthony Jucha from Jucha Legal, and his topic this morning is 10 tips for a more effective resignation letter. Anthony.
Tip 1. Always remember to have a job to resign from. This is important. It's one I find easy to forget, but resignation letters can be a little awkward and much less effective if you don't actually have a job from which to resign. Unless, of course, you fancy tip 2. Try resigning on behalf of other people. Write to your managing partner or that of another firm and resign on behalf of a colleague or rival. Ensure the resignation letter is highly critical, professionally and personally, of other lawyers in the firm. Tip 3. Make sure your language will be understood by lawyers. I wish to convey, without further delay, I will be seeking new employment, de novo. Please, in my absentia, refer all correspondence to my new address, or if I am deceased within 33 days of leaving this firm, to my heirs and successors according to law. In the meantime, I will be in India, following the legal maxim of carpe diem. Tip 4. Try to write a letter that cascades like a restraint of trade clause. I tender my resignation. I gratefully accept your offer to increase my salary by $50,000, $20,000, $10,000. I accept your offer of partnership. Tip 5. When stating the reasons for your resignation, simply refer to the incident. Tip 6. Speed things up. When you get a job and sign and return your employment contract, also submit a draft resignation letter. Show them you won't be bluffing. Of course, you never want to close the door on constructive dismissal. And for tip 7, I recommend always using the phrase, "I just don't feel that I can work here anymore." Or repudiation. Tip 8. Dear Madam, the contract promised workplace flexibility, and yet you still expect me to show up. I accept your repudiation of my employment contract. Of course, one must think of the future. And if you're concerned about the 8 weeks, Centrelink will make you wait for a payment if you resign rather than being terminated. For tip 9, I suggest, "Dear sir, I wish to advise you that I'm having sex with your wife on your desk, and she's one kinky woman. And your daughter's not half bad either." I find that usually does the trick. And now, before I move on to tip 10, I thought I'd read a little poem. Last night, in preparing for today, I looked lovingly over all my old resignation letters, and I've taken an extract from each one to make this poem. Dear sir, dear madam, dear leader, I wish to, I'm afraid that I must, tender my resignation. In accordance, dear stickler, with our agreement, the contract, the terms of employment, I wish to give you only mere minimum notice. But you will note, dear micromanager, how generous, how kind, how forthcoming I've been in providing you with more notice, a full extra month. You never know where the next paycheck will come from. I'm sorry, dear positivist, for the lost files, lost clients, all those lapsed limitations. I trust you will still consider giving a reference. Thank you, dear Skinflint, for the experience, the ulcer, the towels and the stationery with which I now leave. Good luck, mein Führer. I wish you well, success, all the best in the future. Yours faithfully, yours sincerely, your disgruntled ex-employee. And for their help in compiling that poem, I'd like to thank Finlayson's, FH Fording & Co Limited, Pentling Group plc, Shell International Limited, the Electricity Trust of South Australia, Townsend Solicitors, Doman Solicitors, Westside Community Lawyers, Bluescope Skill Limited, Redfern Legal Centre, and one more prominent corporation which I dare not mention because I've just resigned last week. I couldn't believe the topic, it's true. Marlab, I'm available. I need to hurry back and finish serving out my notice, so speaking from a rather large mantle of experience, let me give you the top 10 tip for an effective resignation letter. The biggest joke of all, tell them the truth.